So scrolling it a little bit forward, the current Bears, they have the first overall pick. What do you think the asking price for that pick is? So it's been noted they're shopping that bad boy. So
Yeah. That's the excitement around, Chicago, and I think around the NFL, that the Bears are, in this offseason, are the talk of the town. A lot of teams, this is a big offseason is always huge. How are you going to get better? How are you going to change your team? But the Bears are right there at the top because, the Bears have a quarterback in place, a young quarterback in place. And so much has been talked about. I mean, I just knew when we got that pick, it was going to be Justin Fields, trade rumors, this and that.
yep.
And I think, granted, I was dispelling all those rumors to a lot of people. I said, he's not going anywhere. The Bears are smart. He's not going anywhere. No, you got a quarterback. You know what he looks like with the lack of talent he had around him, and he was spectacular. He made things happen. So I think that in this position, the Bears are going to trade that pick, and I think the asking price is going to be, and that varies. Going before the combine, it was like, oh, the Bears might not get that much, but that's before the combine. That's before the pro days. The combine changes everything. Everybody start. The hype starts. Obviously Bryce Young didn't throw. But he wowed a lot of people in the meetings, and which are very important. But then you had I can't think of his name. Just came Richardson, who just came on the scene in Florida.
Yep.
Anthony Richardson, who just popped up and had blew all the records for quarterback measurables out the testing and measurables out the box. You know what I mean? And then you had other guys look good. So now. That has been coveted because quarterback is such a important part of your team, and then you got these teams that salivating to get up there. So, and the Bears, I think I was worried about how they're playing it, but I think they're playing it right. You know what I mean? They had the dangle out. I know they put it. I'm sure this is what I think, and a lot of people say this. They probably talked to Justin Fields like, hey, man, listen, your name's going to be circulating. We might be in circulating, but you're not going anywhere. This is just how we're going to have to play it to make sure that we put the right team around you. And I think I met the kid, and I think he's so humble enough where he seems unfazed as you look at him going through all his off-season workouts. He seems unfazed. That's what kind of sends me a signal. You know what I mean? Like he's going about business as usual, and he's bigging up the Bears along the way. So I think it was a foregone conclusion that this, they're going to trade this pick, and now teams are willing to move up. And the asking price, I think, obviously that can vary. I would like another first round pick. I would like to find
at least two.
At least two this year. Obviously you want to be in the wheelhouse to be in. And it depends on how far you go back. Because now they said if the Bears trade farther back with a team that's like out the top 10, if you're out the top 10 trying to trade up into my spot, I'm going to ask for a whole lot more. You know what I mean? Now, if you're trading with the Colts at 4, and you're still going to get value at 4, then yeah, you might not get, I think you still ask for that extra first rounder and that second. But if I'm moving out of that 10 and trading with somebody who's trying to move up, I'm asking for a whole lot. But we've heard about scenarios of them trading with the Colts and then trading back again. So I think this you're in a place where anything can happen come draft day, but we'll just have to see. I think the asking price is huge. I think everybody said, well, there's no Joe Burrow at the top. I'm saying when there's quarterbacks and there's a plethora of them, and these teams fall in love, there's no asking price when they're starting to deal against each other that they won't go to. So the Bears are in the position that it's just about them making the smart decisions and the right decisions, for what they feel is, they need to fill this team up. And we got a lot of holes, so the more draft picks, the better.
You know what I think the greatest scenario for the Bears is to probably trade down to 4, like you said, and my guy from Georgia, Carter's going to slip there.
Yeah. I didn't, I don't, even before all the stuff with Carter, I wasn't sure where he would go. I'm sure he wasn't going to get out that fourth pick. It's a lot of things. I just talked to somebody recently. It's a lot of things you have to look into that situation. I think, somebody's going to snag him. Like, it's going to be a sweet spot. There's teams that are going to be like, hey man, we're going, we know there's two teams that would just take flyers. The Raiders, the Cowboys, they don't care. They feel like they've had problematic players in the past, but I think you got to do your due diligence. A guy who's been known for motors on and off. And now this is a big issue of character where, so you got to look in all that, because that's a value spot right there. You don't want to get it wrong. My dream scenario, which I don't think is going to happen now, just the way the Carter situation played, I was always hoping that we would have a chance at one of those guys. Regardless if we traded back to 4, it would just work out that we would snatch one of those guys. And like you said, Carter's still on the board, but those issues are there. You can't ignore them. With the talent, you got to put, and that's what this whole thing is for. You put all the variables together, from the pro days to the combines, getting to know these guys, really getting, then so you can evaluate properly and then make your decision and hope for the best. I was hoping prior to all this stuff coming out that Will Anderson or one of those guys we trade back to 4, because I don't think it's realistic that we're going to trade to 2, because Texans are not going to give us what we need at just going up one pick back down. I think they're going to sit there and take the best available thing. It depends. It could change. Pro Day, Bryce Young, they might just fall in love with him, and they feel like they're going to, somebody might try to trade up with the Bears to get him. But it's still a lot of things to still play out, because we got those pro days, and this guy hasn't thrown yet. But I was hoping that, we know Arizona's taking a D-lineman, right? They're the only ones that are sitting there, don't need a quarterback with Kyler Murray. So they're going to take one of those guys. Now with Jalen Carter and his issues, it seems like a foregone conclusion. If Will Anderson is there, Arizona's going to take him. If we fall back to 4, we're not going to get him. And I love Will Anderson. We need that guy. He nailed out, everything physicality testing wise, through the roof, character through the roof, Alabama through the roof, so he's the guy who's got the measurables of, a Khalil Mack and the Marcus Ware, those guys to change, those Hall of Fame guys, and that's what you need to kickstart this D-line that was dismal for the Bears. So we'll just see, man. I know it's a lot of talent.
And what about Wilson from Texas Tech?
Yeah, I don't know too much about him, but that's what I was getting ready to say. There's a lot of talent that is on the back, and that's what makes them experts. Like, you in those rooms, you're doing those evaluations. I haven't went into this, I haven't had the time to sit there and go through all these prospects. I know they're there, and, I know there's some really good ones there. So, and that's what the Bears need to do. They need to do their homework and know, like, hey, we might not get Will Anderson, but this is a guy who's comparable, who might be better, because it's not always set in stone that you're going to get a guy, in the top 5 that he's going to be a surefire thing. We all know that you can go back down into the late first, second, third, fourth, even
6th round. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. I mean, look at the Raiders. Their DN, guy from Eastern Michigan, he's a white guy. Forget his name. Max Crosby.
Yes.
Look at the guy like that, Eastern Michigan. I want to say the guy went 3rd or 4th round. And he's guys one of the premier pass rushers. So that's the type of homework you have to do. And if the Bears have to just backload and get these 2nd and 3rd, 4th round picks and even into next year, that's what we need to do. But they're in a sweet spot. I trust that they're going to do the right thing.